What we're screening for is to get rid of bad companies. We think there are very few good companies in the world, companies that consistently make a return on their capital above their cost of capital. Now, most fund managers will hold all kinds of companies, good and bad. One of the problems of owning the bad companies in life is whilst you're waiting for those companies, the sort of steel companies and the chemical companies and the airlines and the banks of this world to have an event, which is what people are really waiting for, a change of management, a takeover, the business cycle to turn up, they basically destroy value just the same as it would destroy value for you personally if you took in money at a cost of 10% and you invested it at 5%. That's what they're doing. The companies we own take in money at a cost of, let's call it 10%, and they make 30%. You can rely on the fact that we may get the share price right or wrong when we buy them, but whilst they're sitting there in that portfolio, they consistently create value. So that's what our screening process is about.
I mean, one of the things that some value fund managers say is the way they're able to make returns for you is by buying significantly cheaper stocks and waiting for that re-rating. Is there a risk then with your strategy that you're paying over the odds, that these stocks are expensive?
Yeah, you're right. That's how some value fund managers seek to do it. I have to say, looking at the average results of the industry, not very many of them seem to manage to achieve outperformance with that. And one of the problems with that strategy is this: if you buy your poor company, apart from the fact that it does destroy value whilst you wait, if you get your timing roughly right, yeah, it'll make some value for you. It'll create some performance for you. The problem is then you have to go find another one. Whereas with our companies, if we select them right, we never have to go and find a new company. Are they too expensive? The secret to the companies we own, if there is a secret, is that they actually compound in value more consistently in the market as a whole over long periods of time. Not because they grow faster, but because they don't really have a downturn. And that's what makes them relatively inexpensive over time. Because we did some work on 30 years of investment looking at baskets of companies of the sort we invest in and said, well, on average, what could you pay for those companies in terms of a PE versus the market and still break even over that 30 years versus the market? And you know, on average, you could pay nearly 4 times the market PE and still break even. Now, if my fund was sitting here today on twice the market PE, which it isn't, I think you'd say it's too expensive. Your value investors would say that. I'd probably say that. Yep. But the reality is it might not be if you take a long-term view.